ladies, I'm Marie from Humblebee and Me, and today we are making a simple and scrumptious mocha lip scrub. This scrub is roughly equal parts scrubby things and creamy things. Our creamy part is a blend of brittle, fragrant cocoa butter, that's where the chocolatey part of the mocha comes from, rich dark brown coffee oil, and that's where the bulk of our coffee scent comes from, and sweet almond oil, which really just serves to soften the cocoa butter enough that this is a scoopable, malleable scrub rather than something really brittle, which it would be if it had just all cocoa butter. The scrubby part of this lip scrub is almost entirely white sugar with just a wee bit of ground coffee. Make sure you are using fresh ground coffee and not spent coffee grounds, so not something that you have already made coffee with. It can be really difficult to get spent coffee grounds to be perfectly dry again once they've been soaked in water, and if there's any water left in them, that can cause preservation challenges. So yeah, just use some nice fresh coffee grounds. We're only using them at 2%, so you can very easily just kind of skim some off of your morning coffee grinding buzz session. Making this is incredibly easy. We melt together the fatty things, pull it off the heat, add the scrubby things, cool it a bit, add the vitamin E, and then cool it even more so that it is a nice thick trace. So when we package it, the sugar and the coffee don't go broop. And that's pretty much it. And then you have a gorgeous mocha lip scrub. A big thank you to Brambleberry for gifting the sugar and the ground coffee, to Plants Power for gifting the coffee oil, and to Baraka Shea Butter for gifting the gorgeous cocoa butter. Now without further ado, let's get started. We'll begin by combining our heated phase ingredients in a small heat-resistant vessel. So this is a Pyrex brand custard cup. You could use a beaker or a Pyrex measuring cup. I do recommend using something glass though, because the heat capacity of glass is really nice. So we're going to need 5.4 grams of unrefined cocoa butter. It should smell wonderfully of chocolate. 8.7 grams sweet almond oil. If you're allergic to nuts or simply want to use a different oil, the sweet almond oil is very easy to substitute out, so please make sure you're reading the partner blog post for more information on that. And then our last heated phase ingredient is coffee oil. You'll need 0.6 grams of it. And this is where the bulk of our gorgeous coffee scent comes from in this mocha lip scrub. Our next step is heating this mixture through to melt the cocoa butter. So to do that, I'm going to pop our little glass custard cup in a water bath. So this is a small saucepan that has about 2 centimeters or 2/3 of an inch of water in the bottom of it. And I'm going to go put this on the stovetop over medium-low heat until the cocoa butter has liquefied. Once the cocoa butter has melted, you can remove your water bath from the heat and then remove your little bowl from the water bath. Give that a bit of a stir to combine. So up next, we are going to add our exfoliants. So I have 14.4 grams of white sugar, and this is just normal white baking sugar, and 0.6 grams ground coffee. So our next step is going to be cooling this down a bit so that we can add our vitamin E, and then really bringing it to a nice thick trace before we transfer it to our container. Just going to pop this in a water bath. So this is a bowl that's got some water and a pretty good amount of ice in it. And I'm just going to make sure I'm really stirring, constantly scraping around and down across the bottom of the mixture. And so what we're looking for right now is just for this to be cool enough that we can add our vitamin E. When you can draw your spatula across the bottom of the mixture there, and there's just a wee bit of a break before it caves back in, we can add the vitamin E. I'm just going to quickly dry off the outside of this, pop it on our scale, and we're going to add 0.3 grams vitamin E or tocopherol. And if you'd like to learn more about the type of vitamin E that we use for cosmetic formulation, please make sure you're looking it up in the Humblebee and Me encyclopedia. It's under tocopherol. Give that another stir to get things moving. And now we are going to use the water bath again to bring this to quite a thick trace. It needs to be a thick enough trace that the sugar and coffee grounds aren't going to settle out as the mixture sits. All right, we are getting nice and close. You can see this is quite thick and leaves a pretty noticeable trace. It's not quite all the way there, but I just want to make sure we've got our packaging handy before we continue so that when we hit that right level of trace, we can go right into our jar. For packaging, I'm going to use this 1 ounce screw top plastic jar from Humblebee. This was a gift. Pop that right there so it's ready for us when we need it. Okay, we are ready to package. You can see that this is kind of like a spreadable consistency. I'm just gonna quickly dry off the outside of the measuring cup so I don't accidentally incorporate any water. And you can see that this is so thick that I'm able to just kind of tip it on its side for that. And in we go. You can see that this is definitely thick enough that we are not worried about the sugar or the coffee separating out. Probably could have poured this about 10 seconds sooner. You can see that there's a pretty quick change there from stirrable to pretty darn solid. I'm going to use the back of a spoon to sort of smoosh this into submission. And that is pretty much it. Just pop a lid on that and we can label it up and we're done. For a label, I'm just going to use some of these custom stickers that I had printed up from Sticker Mule. For a bit of a use demo, let's grab some of the leftovers off the spoon. So this is usually something I would do in the bathroom over the sink, but for your benefit, we are here in the studio, so I'm going to try not to make a big mess on the floor. So I've just got a small amount of scrub here. Start small and, add more if required. I'm just going to buff into my lips. Resist the temptation to eat. Though if you do taste a little bit of it, it just tastes really nice and sweet. Yum. And then just wipe off with a damp cloth, or you can just kind of splash with water if you are in the bathroom. So I'm sometimes asked about adding an emulsifier or something to a lip scrub to really increase the rinse off, but I find that with a lip scrub, you don't really want that. Your lips are quite delicate, quite thin skin, and so I find that if you have something that boosts rinse off in a lip scrub, it makes your lips feel really quite dry after they've been scrubbed. So just leaving it as is with just the oil and the sugar and the scrubby, or the oily things and the scrubby things, works really, really well. And then to wrap up, I'm going to pop on a bit of lip gloss. This is one of the ones that I made in my lip gloss video from earlier this summer. And there we go. So we just made a lovely little tub of mocha lip scrub. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and please make sure you're reading the full partner blog post for this formulation. It is linked in the description box below this video. You'll find a lot more helpful information there, information on substitutions, scaling, shelf life, links to places to buy all the ingredients, a coupon code for Baraka Shea Butter, and a whole lot more. But yeah, thank you so very much, and I'll see you next time.